I get asked all the time by my friends and family, what machine should I use to get fit? Well, today we are going to dive in and figure that out. There are a whole bunch of machines we can use in a gym. We've got them all set out here. We're going to rank them from top to bottom. Lily's going to help us out, aren't you, Lily? High five. That was pathetic. We have 9 machines here today. Let's start with the most common. So we've got a treadmill. A lot of people will go to the gym to get some steps in, to go running, jogging, all those kinds of things. They can do it with a TV screen, with their music in. They're not worried about getting wet outside, all that kind of stuff. So first up we have the traditional treadmill. That one that you stand on, you press the button and the track moves under you. It's fairly simple to use. Most people within a few minutes can figure out how it gets to work, and it's going to give you a good workout. Now the problem with it is, because the track is moving, it's going to teach us the wrong mechanics, which you might think no big deal, but that's going to cause longer term problems with your knees and your hip, and just going to wear things down a little bit. So I'm going to put it lower on the list, like C tier. Better than that, in my opinion, would be a curved treadmill. Okay, curved treadmill is a self-powered machine. So the track itself has a slope on it, and that means when you strike your foot at the front, you have to pull the treadmill underneath you, so you're going to power it. I'm going to put it up here in A level, okay? I still would prefer people go outside, but actually, if you're starting off, it's a pretty good way of getting you into the running movement. You can walk on it as well for sure, and it's going to encourage better mechanics. You're going to really use your hamstrings and your glutes a lot more. Now, walking is great for beginners because you're getting more steps in. It's a relatively safe movement. Running and jogging, on the other hand, are going to be quite high impact, especially if you're not running with really good mechanics. And that's where your legs are acting like springs, and instead they're acting like steel rods. All that force then goes through your joints rather than through the muscles and tendons. It can be a good thing to advance towards once you're a little bit fitter and once you've strengthened up those legs a little bit. Next up, let's look at a bike. So a bike, there's a few versions of this. We could do a spin bike, we could do an air bike. Picture here is the Concept2 Bikeerg. It's a really cool piece of kit. It's got variable resistance, just like a spin bike would have. There's got a monitor, so it tells you your output, your speed, your wattage, your calorie burn, all that kind of stuff. So I put it above a spin bike. Disadvantage with these is that you can't clip in with cleats. So in cycling, you would use a cleat, and that allows you not just to push the pedal down, but also to pull it back up. So we're not using quite as many muscles as we could. So although I'd like to put it up maybe in A or A, I'm going to put it down in the C because it's great. It's low impact, so a lot of people will really benefit from using it. But again, because we're not using just as many muscles as we could, I think there's better options out there. Another option then for our bikes would be an air bike with handles. So something like an assault bike or an echo bike. Great tool for getting a lot more of your body involved in the workout. You're going to really challenge your core, you're driving your legs and your arms, and there's really few places to escape from getting a great workout. One of my coaching friends said, if people swam the way they work out on an assault bike, there'd be a lot more people drowning. I'm going to put it in A because although it's a great workout, you're going to dive yourself into a world of pain with it. You can do loads of intervals. The screen and the monitors are usually pretty well set up on it. It is limited in that it's kind of a fixed resistance. So you can either go faster or slower. There's no middle ground with it. And that means then it doesn't correlate as well over to other movements that you might want to get fitter at in the gym. Speaking of brutal workouts, have you ever used a StairMaster? It's like this eternal set of stairs that you can't escape. It is devilishly it is devilishly effective, and there's no escaping that whatsoever. You're just on it for the churn. So great burner. You can tilt your body forward, get a lot more glutes and hamstrings. You can stay more upright and backwards, get a lot more of your quads. It's a good calf burner. Bodybuilders use it a lot after their workouts, so they're maintaining muscle mass because they're lifting themselves up the stairs all the time. Great piece of kit, very simple. Not much variety you can do there with the workouts, but so effective that it can't really go anywhere lower than an A. Next up, we've got our Crosstrainer. Now our Crosstrainer, yes, it's low impact, so it's great for beginners, but it fixes us in this weird range of motion where our joints aren't really going through a full range of motion and therefore are going to be getting worn down in weird ways. It's quite an artificial movement as well. It's supposed to mimic like cross-country skiing or something, but it just doesn't. So I'm going to move this all the way down to D. Then we have another Nordic sport, Skierg. Skierg is fantastic, really cool piece of kit. It's made by Concept2. They do great monitors, so you get really good output in these machines. You can really see, again, how hard you're working. There's an adjustable fan, so you can adjust the resistance a little bit. You can change the number of strokes you take a minute, fantastic. And while I do love this machine, and I would think about putting it in A, I'm gonna put it in B. I did like a 3-month training block on one of these, and I got pretty fit on the machine, but it didn't really carry over to a lot of other fitness because it's working mostly your upper body, your core, but it's not going through a huge range of motion in your legs. So I love it. I'd highly recommend a lot of people use it, but I think there's too many barriers to entry there for just learning the movement and it maybe not correlating to as much fitness in other things as well. Then we have a Versaclimber. If you've never used a Versaclimber, you have never experienced hell. It is brutal. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. You're basically on this thing, your feet are strapped in, your arms are strapped in, and you're just climbing this mountain. It's relentless, it doesn't stop. Highly recommend you try it. I can't see anybody sticking to a program just on the Versaclimber, so it's a cool tool to play around with, but I don't think it can be like a key part of any exercise routine that's there every single day. I think you get too bored of it, and I think it's too off-putting in that it's so difficult. So unless you want your workouts to be 30 seconds to 3 minutes, I'm going to put this down in C tier because I think there's much better options out there. And finally, we have the Concept2 Rowers. Now, I am 100% biased. I know I'm biased, but this is the best thing on earth. This is just so good. Not only are you getting a great all-body workout, it's like 86% of your body's muscles, legs, hips, back, arms, core, the whole shebang. You can vary the stroke rate, you can vary the resistance on the machine, and you have this monitor which is great for telling you your output in various different forms. You can link it up to a whole bunch of apps to give you more information if you're into that sort of thing, and you can scale this so far on the way up. All Olympic rowers use the Concept2 to measure their times and their tests, so there's data there to get you to any level that you want to. I cannot possibly recommend anything more than the Concept2 Rowers. If you haven't used one before, there's plenty of videos out there for you to follow. I have some, Dark Horse has some, Row Along has some, Sensei has, there's just loads of content out there. Get yourself access to a Rowers, have a great time and get pretty darn fit. So that's it, that's my tier ranking for cardio machines. Hopefully this helps you if you're looking to buy a machine for your home gym, which one would be the best way to spend your money. I hope you find this useful. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
High five.